Are we on? There we go. All right. Good evening, everybody. This is the Juice Box Heroes coming to you on a Wednesday episode. And tonight we're going to be looking at the Astros, or the ghost of Astros Pass, and also talking about our newest acquisition from the KBO. So hit that music.
What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in for an early week, Wednesday night episode of the Juice Box Heroes. I'm one of your hosts, PK. As always, we have, well, his banner's gone. The Dubon Fan Club president, Chris Moran. I guess we have to, we got to refer to him as H-Town Warrior now. H-Town Warrior, as always, and the Sweet Bee Buns Bros. Fellas, how y'all doing?
Yeah, man, doing pretty good. First of all, I want to appreciate both of you guys for making the schedule a little bit more flexible. We are going to the Alvin Christmas train tomorrow, so I didn't want to have us go live at like 9. So, but besides that, man, busy week. Yes, I did have to update my my placard here, so I am looking for a hero. So
Nick Allen.
So that's where I'm at. Bro, how's your week going? There you go.
It's going good, buddy. Hey, thank you guys for holding down the fort on Sunday. Missed everybody, but I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving weekend. Obviously, UT put a whooping on A&M. Just if you can go ahead and just repeat the fourth quarter again if you want to see it. That's all you need to really see. So anyway, but no, it was a great week. So just glad to be back in the saddle and go from there. So PK, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, man. Staying warm, staying dry. You know, I'm loving the cold weather. I'm about it, you know, but no, it's been a good week back so far from the Thanksgiving break. You know, I'm counting down the 2.5 weeks I have left before I'm off again for 2 weeks. So I'm like slowly getting to vacation mode again, right? But a few things to handle first, man. Let's get into this episode. You know, we're going to do a 3-part series. This one will be Ghost of Astros Past. And, you know, give a little bit of credit to what kind of spurred this this episode. Sleeper Astros threw up a lineup from the 2013 Houston Astros, and I glazed by it or you know swiped by it pretty quickly. Didn't really look at a lot of the names on there. Chris brought it up to my attention earlier today, and so I went back and looked, and you know there's just a few names on there that I was like, oh god, like I don't even know who this guy is. Like legitimately don't know who this guy is, right? So we thought we would just talk a little bit about that. But before we get into that, let's catch you up on a little bit of Astros talk. Me and Chris talked about it on Sunday. There was a signing, even though it really wasn't official on Sunday. It was more of in talks on an agreement with a pitcher from the KBO. I'm drawing a blank on his first name. Last name's Weiss. What's his first name, Browse?
Ryan Weiss.
So it was official, I think, today, right? They went ahead and signed the agreement. He is I think he went 16-9. Browse, I think you got some stats on him. Go ahead if you got him.
Yeah, no, so he's first of all, he's 6'4", 209, came out of the KBO, but he was originally drafted by the Arizona Diamondbacks back in 2018. He played in college at Wright State 2016 to 2018. Had a lot of potential, and then he just kind of puttered out in AAA. So that was the biggest thing. It was like the Diamondbacks ended up trading him to Kansas City back in 2022. He played for a number of AAA teams. He was with the Amarillo Sod Poodles, the Reno Aces, and then the Omaha Storm Chasers. Ended up going 132 minor league innings with 47 starts, overall 4.88 ERA and a 1.42 WHIP. So anyway, long story short, you know, he kind of felt like a quadruple A player. And I think we all know what I mean when I say that. It's like that guy that he's really good in AAA, or he's pretty good enough to get called up for a cup of coffee, but just can't really make that next step and then go from there. So anyway, long story short, he went to the KBO and went to the Hanwha Eagles and did fantastic. His last year in 2025, this year, he had 30 games, started all 30 games, had a 16-5 record, 2.87 ERA with a sub-1 WHIP. And let me tell you guys, 207 strikeouts. So with 21 quality starts. So if you're looking for a starting pitcher, I mean, from what we saw of him in Korea, we're hoping that's going to translate to the big league club, and we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen if they're going to end up putting him, first of all, in AAA or what, but obviously he's going to be in spring training. So we'll go from there. But hey, worst come to worst. I mean, how many times have we said it? We always need starting pitching. I don't care if it's going to be, the last guy on the bench in the major league club or if it's going to be in AAA. So we'll see. Chris, what did you see?
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, I don't think it's going to be a minor league deal, or I don't think he's going to spend any. I don't think he's going to go directly to the minor leagues. I mean, the deal is in 1 year. I think it's like a little over $2 million. I mean, so and again, he's one of those guys that, like, I mean, yes, you see those stats and they're very, very sexy. His Korean stats. I mean, but like, how much is that exactly going to translate? Like, I don't think. In my opinion, I'm not expecting him to come back over here and go 16-5 with a sub-3 ERA. That'd be fantastic if he did. But I think he's just more of like back end of the rotation depth. Maybe he's a long reliever out of the bullpen. I mean, I guess he'll probably be one of those handful of guys that are fighting for a spot in the rotation come the spring. But yeah, I mean, again, like I don't hate it. They're doing something. Granted, like I said, going back to what I said last week, leave it to the Astros to sign one of the few non-Korean guys. So I like it. I mean,
I think, look, man, you get him in the Astros lab, right? We've seen what the lab can do, right? I mean, it is a track record of, getting these guys that, have been, I don't know, subpar or not pitching to their, full capability, however you want to look at it, right? And they get into the Astros organization, get into the lab, and the Astros have that, that fairy dust, right? That they just sprinkle on them, and then these guys, come out of nowhere, right? So I'm looking forward to having this guy into the organization, seeing what we can do with him, right? Even though it's a starting pitcher signing, there's no way in hell the Astros can be done with their starting pitching, with addressing their starting pitching. They still need another starting pitcher. They still need another one, right? And you need one, as high of a level as we possibly can. So I'm excited to see what the guy has, right? But yeah, we still need to address the starting pitching in the offseason for sure. With that, we got some news today on some draft picks, what the Astros will be getting based on some final, what Hunter Brown got for his, finishing third place in the Cy Young, right? So we're going to pick up a 28th round pick, right, for Hunter Brown finishing third. And this is courtesy of Astros Future. So the Astros are getting two first round picks this year, one being in the teens, another being number 28. And then we also have a chance of getting a fourth round pick when and if Framber Valdez signs somebody else. So it's safe to say you're probably getting that fourth round pick, right? And we talked about this in previous episodes where it was about 3 or 4 episodes ago where we talked about, should the Astros focus on, the big league squad, or should they focus on, rebuilding the farm system, right? And these 2 first round picks is, a great way to start reestablishing the depth in your farm system. I mean, you had to bring a lot of guys up, right, to cover down injuries. Your farm system has been weak as far as rankings for the last several years, right? We all know how hard it is to hit on these prospects, right? But the more picks that you have, right, the better chance you'll have of hitting on one. So, first reactions to the draft picks, that we're getting for the Hunter Brown, and then of course, when and if we lose Framber.
I think it's.
Go ahead, Ross.
All right, I was going to say I think it's great. And the reason I'm thinking it's great is if you go back all the way to 2019 when we ended up paying the penalty for our 2017, issues. I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, where we lost draft picks, that's when our farm system started to take a little bit of a dive. So anytime that we've got somebody like Hunter Brown that can actually perform, and I understand it is a late round pick, but a pick is a pick is a pick. Just like you were saying, PK, you never know. I mean, you might get some guy out of high school. You might get some guy from a college you've never heard of that's their number 4 pitcher or something like that. And all of a sudden they ended up coming up and actually being something. So it's, the most amount of picks that you can possibly get is the way to go. And I think we are going to benefit probably more from wherever Fromber signs, and the pick that we get from him, I think is going to be more valuable than anything else. But our back office and front office guys have got to figure this out. They've got to get all the stat nerds together, get this ready to go, and then get all the old guys in the room, like from Moneyball, saying like, "Oh yeah, well, how's his girlfriend look? Okay, good," and then make that right pick. That way we can actually put something on the field. And once again, I'm going to say it. Our AAA squad has, that entire coaching staff has produced an unbelievable amount of talent from what they were given. So the fact that they can actually bring these guys up to their highest level before they end up coming to us has been phenomenal. So anyway, long story short, with the picks, yes, I think anytime we get picks, it's going to be fantastic. And I think that Fromber pick's going to be really, really good. And then, if we can pull something out of what the performance Hunter Brown did, then that's even better.
Yeah, so basically I agree. And it's good to see the MLB is starting to, they're trying to do more to basically give more incentives to teams in draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to turn away from all, it was, it really started with the Astros with the whole intentionally tanking and all that stuff. So it's good to see that the MLB is doing that. And it's even better to see that we've actually benefited from that rule change. So again, like to basically copy what everybody else said. Draft picks are draft picks. I'm good with it. But you got to make the right draft picks. So as Browse so eloquently put it, get the nerds together into the war room and make it happen.
Well, the other thing too is if Cam Smith would have finished in the top 3 of the Rookie of the Year voting, we would have had another pick, right? That was the incentive for calling him up so early, right, at the beginning of the season. It didn't happen, but you're right, Chris. The MLB is incentivizing to have these, potential superstars not sit down there in the minors, until June, so that the club can keep an extra year, right? Incentivize them to come up so that if they do perform like they're supposed to, then you get rewarded with a draft pick. So, well, look, man, let's get into this thing. I'm kind of curious to see how this 2013 lineup is going to go.
Yeah. So, along with, like I said, give a big shout out to Astro Sleeper. When I saw this, a buddy of mine on Facebook, Jason, hit me up. He's like, "Dude, you remember this lineup?" But honestly, what really gave me the idea to do this was this morning. I was talking to our good old buddy David, and basically we were going back and forth, and his idea was that the roster was in shambles. I was like, David, if you think the roster is in shambles now, I've got a picture that I want to show you of a lineup from 2013. And then, if there's anybody here listening from Astros Nation Facebook group, big shout out to them. There's a guy named Gustavo, and this guy is like, Dana Brown's terrible, yada yada yada. So he was kind of motivated me to also kind of do this episode. And basically, what I want to put out is that again, I don't understand why Dana Brown gets all this hate. I get that it's a little frustrating at times that we're seeing teams make these moves, but at the end of the day, Dana Brown can only play in the confines of what is given to him by Jim Crane. So maybe Dana Brown wanted to give Dylan Cease a 7-year deal, and Jim Crane was like, "Cool story. That's not going to happen." So I just feel like Dana Brown gets a lot of unjust hate. So, but for you guys that are all doom and gloom and are all the Astros rosters are in shambles, they can't get a ride. We're watching everybody make all these moves. I have something, and I feel bad because I didn't give the credit to Astro Sleeper. But I think we've shot him out enough to where everybody knows this came from his post. So I'm going to say it again when I post this. I want you to take a look at this roster. This is from 2013, and I want you to look at this roster and think within your heart of hearts, this is the ghost of the Astros past. Now, before I put this up, I want you to think about it. A lot of these teams, after they go on these runs, completely go into a tear down rebuild. I mean, that's pretty much like the blueprint. You tear it down, you go on. I mean, if everything works out perfectly, you tear it down, go on this magical run where you're competitive for about 6, 7, 8, 9 years. And then eventually the stock well dries up, you tear it back down and rinse and repeat. So the Astros have not done that. I mean, we have not seen a complete fire sale, but I'm going to put this up just to let you know that this roster's not in shambles. Does it have question marks? Absolutely. But here it is. This is courtesy of Astros Sleeper, and this is a 2013 lineup. Now, again, like I was talking to Browse, I talked to PK. I had to go back in my memory bank to remember who the hell Trevor Crowe was. Then I remembered he was a up and coming prospect with the Cleveland Indians. And then the fact that most of everybody still doesn't know who he is, that kind of makes you feel like, he didn't pan out. Now you look at this lineup. You have Trevor Crowe leading off. He ended up hitting like 213 on the season. And I think eventually he was released by the end of the season. Your number 2 hitter is Carlos Pena. You signed Carlos Pena for like $2.9 million, and then he was gone after a year. Now this is Baby Altuve. I think this is his 3rd season. He's hitting 3rd. Your cleanup hitter is Jason Castro. Now I do want to say PK said was like, oh, this is the year he made the All-Star team, and I was like, no, it was the year before. PK, you were right. This was his All-Star year. He was the only Astros All-Star because every team had to have a representative.
That's right.
Okay. And then you had the king of feast or famine, Chris Carter, batting 5th.
Yep.
I think Chris Carter had more home runs than he had singles that season.
Yep. Sounds about
for
right.
his career. And then you had not MVP JD Martinez, the JD Martinez that came up with the Astros and had multiple chances. We released him, and then he became an MVP with the Tigers. Now, this was another name that I completely forgot was an Astro until I saw this now. And that was Ronnie Cedeno. He is your starting shortstop. Who's our starting shortstop right now? Jeremy Pena. Now, it's not fair right now to compare this team to the team we have now. Your third baseman's Matt Dominguez, and if you remember, your center fielder, who was originally number 2 before Bregman came, was Brandon Barnes. Now, clearly, if you went down this roster and compared it to the Astros roster going into 2020, or even right now as it sits, this doesn't even compare. So, again, this is the ghost of the Astros past right here. This is we're tearing it completely down. I think Carlos Pena was the highest paid guy in this lineup, making about 2.5, maybe 2.9 million. And that's insane because right now Altuve alone is making close to 30. So again, to all you people out there, Mr. Gustavo, David, I know you had an old man moment, so it's fine. This is a team roster that's in shambles. This right here is a roster that is in shambles. So I'm going to take this off so we can kind of go around the round table. But I think I've teed this up. Guys, I think we have been babied in this last 10-year stretch. And again, I think for all the guys that are older, remembered what it was when that was the opening day lineup, where basically you had to create reasons to get excited about the season. It's like, oh man, Carlos Pena, that's a guy who could sneaky hit 40-something home runs. And then maybe if he has a good season, we could trade him at the dedeadline for some good minor league pieces.
That's right. That's where we were at.
That's where we were at compared to now where I just looked at stuff where we're potentially looking at, we're definitely interested in Joe Ryan from Minnesota.
Yeah, saw that.
We're, definitely interested in Brandon Donovan. This is not a team that is basically have given up because we missed the playoffs by 1 game because we had 75 injuries last season. This is a team that I feel like it's easy to spend other people's money. That's where I'm getting at. And again, I'm not, when tickets were affordable, you can literally go 100%. Opening day for $12 a ticket. So
that's right. First lower bowl.
Yeah, that was lower bowl. The upper deck, they would just give it to you. It's like, man, we get Kroger had a buy one, get 37 tickets free. But,
that's right.
I mean, like, so my thing is, and before I hand this over, because I know this has been long winded, but guys, I get it's easy to spend other people's money, and again, it's easy to blame Dana Brown, and I just don't understand all the hate for Dana Brown, because here's the thing: if PK is my owner or an owner for a baseball team, and I'm the GM, at the end of the day, PK has the last word on what we do or do not do. So I could say, hey, I had this trade lined up. We're going to trade Jake Myers and Christian Walker for this package of players. And PK could be like, no, that's stupid. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to say, well, PK, go screw yourself. I'm going to do what I want. That's how I found myself GM of 0 baseball team. So I'm going to hand it over. Bryles, did that lineup bring up very, very passionate, fond memories of successful Astros baseball? Oh, real quick, that lineup went 51 and 111. And there you go, Bryles.
Hell yes.
Yeah, no, that's about right. One of the things that I brought up in our conversation earlier when we were talking about this is that entire payroll couldn't have been more than about $9 million. It had to have been under 10 easily, right? And that was Carlos Pena's, if I would remember correctly, his last year before he jumped over to MLB Network and, was shouting Blacata on the on all the, shows that he was on. But anyway, yeah, and to say that our current rosters in shambles is kind of ridiculous if you think about it. Look at our infield, and that's what I want to bring up more than anything else. I mean, we literally, if you get Diaz at catcher back in the game that he's used to playing, where he's damn near an all-star every single time, we potentially have an entire all-star infield. Now, I'm not going to say that Walker could do that right now because he seems to be a little bit on the decline. But, I mean, you put Paredes over there and then Altuve, if he still gets – I mean, everybody's hating on him because of his defense or whatever. But, I mean, if he gets back into the track again, and then you got Pena and Correa. I mean, our infield is phenomenal. There are so many teams that would love to have something like that. Our outfield, don't get me wrong, does have a little bit of, something that needs some work on. But going back to that roster, I mean, you look at that roster and you go, who are half of these guys? I'm saying who are half these guys. And I mean, I was watching Houston Astros baseball when they were losing 111 games every single year there for 3-4 years. So it's like, yeah. The one thing I will bring up in the past, though, is I think the one thing that has haunted us in our Astros past has been first base. So, I mean, it literally, other than Yuli, since Berkman, we have had a whole lot of struggles in there in the middle. And I really hope that they can get that figured out here coming up soon. But if we're talking about a haunted position from our ghosts of Astros past, I think first base has been probably the biggest, problem we've had lately. But anyway, yeah, this is nothing like, those $9-10 million rosters. It's nothing like that. And we've got a lot to look forward to in the season, which is why this is a 3-part series. So PK, what you got?
Yes, I think that would have been year 2 of 3 consecutive 100-loss seasons, right? I believe was it 12, 13, and 14, right?
Yeah.
And so, look, yes, you were tanking 1,000%, right? I mean, yeah, but at the same time, JD Martinez had the potential power back then that you were expecting him to have during the Astros tenure that he ended up having with every other freaking team that he went to, right? And he didn't. Matt Dominguez was supposed to be, I believe, a fairly, highly rated potential prospect, not potential, I don't want to say superstar, right? But he was supposed to be adequate, serviceable down there at third base. That really didn't happen. You had no idea what you were getting with Altuve, right? You didn't know what you're getting from a 5'2" guy from Venezuela. You had no idea. He played hard, he hustled, right? He had a good glove, speed, all that stuff. So you just, it was a low risk, high reward for Altuve to be on that roster at the time, right? So even though they were tanking, you had potential players on that team that could hopefully blossom into what JD Martinez ended up blossoming into outside of Houston, what Altuve's ended up turning into, as a GOAT for Houston. It's just funny to go back and look at those rosters or even that lineup, right? And just remember that we were a part of that, right? Where, they had it was the brick red unis, right? And so you had so much success with the brick red unis from the mid 2000s, right? With going to the World Series and that run there. And then you're ending it with 3 consecutive 100-loss seasons. And so, Chris, like you brought up something, right? And we've talked about it numerous times where this is the first time we missed the playoffs in 9 seasons, right? 10 seasons, right? We missed it by 1 game. We had 900 injuries, right? We all found about guys from our minor league club that, for me personally, I didn't really know who these guys were until this season, right? And you've got a $76 million third baseman. You've got $125 million DH, so that's left fielder and Jordan. You've got Altuve's contract, right? You've got Hunter Brown that's going to command a lot of money, even though he's, we have under control. You've got a $20 million first baseman, right? So you're looking at Eric Bedard. Good Lord. You're looking at a roster now that, blows obviously that 2013 roster out of the equation. And so, Jason Castro is I remember when they drafted him from Stanford, right? I mean, he mashed at Stanford, right? He could hit the ball at Stanford. And even with him being the only all-star like on that team, it kind of goes back to Chris said where like every team, it's kind of like every team has to play on Thursday Night Football. It's like every team had to provide an all-star, right? And that was Castro's best season for the rest of his career. I mean, he came back and won a championship with us as a reserve, but we have been spoiled in these last 19 seasons of deep runs into October, hanging banners. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of question marks for the roster right now because there's a lot of turnover or young youth that we're having to see, like seeing what they're going to be doing. So I think that might be where people are looking at it and saying this is in shambles because our core, I mean, we all know our core is gone. Springer's gone. Tucker's gone, right? Jordan's been hurt, was hurt all last season. Bregman's gone, right? So like Yuli's gone, all the things, right? That core group of guys that were with us during that big run are gone, right? Altuve's on the back end of his career, right? So like I can see where people say that we're in shambles because we have new talent coming up and we need to see what these guys are going to provide for us. At the same time, Houston, we all know, as long as you've been a Houston fan, Houston does not go out. They can't compete with the New York teams. They can't compete with Chicago. They can't compete with the LA teams. They just never have. They just never will, right? You go to, for me, my first thing that pops into my head is Carlos Beltran, right? Where he's coming off that super hot postseason, right? And we're sitting there and I'm
Good
like,
comp.
there's no way this guy is going to leave us to go somewhere else. And he goes to New York for 7 years, however much, right? And so of course we boot him forever and a day. But Houston's not going to budge. And that was with Drayton as the owner, right?
Yeah.
And then Jim Crane's doing the same thing. You know what I mean? So Houston's not going to outbid those teams. We're just not going to do it, and so you have to go and find those good finds. Like me and Bryle said last year, that fantastic find was Yusei Kikuchi. We talked about how good of a move that was.
Yeah, and it was really tough for me to have to swallow that I was wrong on that Kikuchi deal.
Yeah, I know.
So
you did a great job of doing that.
But we all grow as the years go by. We all grow. But yeah, I mean, to basically, carry on that. I mean, like you look back, even during this 10-year run, name me one top 5 free agent that the Astros signed.
Yeah.
I mean, it was old man Beltran. I mean, he was 2 years. I mean, the Astros, even in their prime, was not this team that was going to go out and go sign, Shohei Ohtani or all these guys. I mean, they just added. They have always added supplemental pieces to round out the roster. I mean, like you look at the Garrett Cole trade. I mean, that was a guy that he was giving up 30 home runs a year in Pittsburgh. He comes to Houston. Might have a little bit of spider tack involved in it, but turned into the guy that the Yankees gave $350 million to. I mean, so, Brian McCann was another one. I mean, it's just
Yep.
they just don't have, and I get it. I would love. I mean, I get the excitement that your team feels when they go and they go get whatever team goes out, go get Kyle
Anybody.
Tucker. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
You're gonna be super stoked. That's just not how we do it, though. I mean, but you look at the sustained success that we've had in the last 8, 9, 10 years. Like I said, and I will be blunt about this, any other team, maybe outside the Dodgers, because they're the hot team right now, but any one of those teams will give their left nut to have the last 10-year run that the Astros just had. I mean,
Damn straight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I would love to see them go after make this major trade. I mean, but like, honestly, I'm just excited to see what moves they make. I would, I'm at the point now where I'm updating X because I'm waiting to see if they end up trading Jake Myers, if they make a deal to go get Joe Ryan, if they make the trade to go get Brendan Donovan, because I feel like maybe those 3 specific moves may not happen. I mean, I definitely feel that Jake Myers will not be an Astro by the end of this
1,000%.
I feel like he'll be gone. But am I going to be upset if Brendan Donovan goes to the Cubs or something? No, because maybe they were asking too much. And the Astros said, that's a cool story. We're not going to give you that. And to also talk about like the Yankees and stuff. I mean, how many guys have they given these massive contracts to that the last 4 years of the contract, they are shooting themselves in the foot? Jacoby Ellsbury, Jason Giambi. They're doing it right now with Giancarlo Stanton. All these guys are just sitting there just making $30, $35 million a year. And they're at the twilight of their career. And I would rather just like do the 5-year deal and not have to worry about, well, what are we going to deal with this in 3 years when this guy's 35 and he's making $42 million a year and he's barely hitting 210. I mean, so I'm okay with it. I mean, like, I get it. It's okay to get frustrated. If you didn't care, you wouldn't get frustrated. But I agree. I don't think this roster's in shambles. It has question marks, and hopefully they address some of these question marks this offseason. So that's kind of where I'm
I
at.
agree.
Browns, you got anything else to add?
Yeah, so we're not Oakland A's fans. We are not Pittsburgh Pirates fans. We are not Tampa Bay Rays fans. We're none of these. There's hope. And like you said, we just are coming off of and still into a huge dynasty. So I think that was a really big thing to bring up. We are very fortunate to be Astros fans, what we've got to see and what we are hopefully going to see coming up moving forward. So there's nothing to hang your head about. And I totally agree. Like, looking at the past, this is definitely, we've got a lot to look forward to in the future.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. I'm ready to see some more moves. Winter meetings start next week or the week after? I mean, they're right around the freaking corner.
No,
right.
I think the GM start arriving either Friday or this weekend.
Yeah, so
it's going to start.
It's going to start picking up, right? Before we get out of here, man, there was a huge announcement today. We haven't even covered it. Space City Home Network Plus.
Oh yeah.
Guys and girls, man. Look, we talked about it all season, right? I know everyone talks about it on all the social accounts. For $19.99 a month, stream Astros and Rockets off any device, or you can pay the yearly thing, right? But no more having to go through a provider, right? I know for Chris, that is a game changer for him. Braz, I'm sure it's the same way. For me, it is. It's been a long time coming, right? So the Astros gave their fans, an early Christmas present by launching that. I think it's freaking awesome. It's about time. You know what I mean? So kudos to them for doing that.
That was absolutely huge, man. I cannot wait for them to do that. And it's a long time coming.
Yeah. So look, that was a good way. That's a good way to end that thing, man. Look, this is part 1 of a 3-part series. We're going to be back on Sunday. We will go with part 2.
Yeah, it'll be the Ghost of Christmas Present.
Yeah, Ghost of Astros Present. So we'll be back on Sunday, normal time. The following episode will be back on Thursday as normal, unless one of us have something to do. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Sunday. I'm PK. That's Chris. That's Bryles. And this is the Juicebox Heroes.
Hook 'em.
Hook 'em, baby. Let's go. I almost forgot about the damn Space City